Hello, Royal Watchers. Welcome back to the channel that brings you all the most fascinating, bizarre, and unexpected stories from the world of royalty. Today's episode is about a twist of fate that could have rewritten royal history as we know it. Imagine this: Prince Edward, the youngest son of Queen Elizabeth II, almost became the king of another country. Yes, you heard that right. Prince Edward was offered the crown of a newly formed nation in Eastern Europe after the collapse of the Soviet Union. This isn't fiction. This really happened. In 1994, Estonia, fresh out of Soviet control, made the unexpected move to ask Prince Edward to be their king. This story may sound like a plot straight out of a movie, but it's very real, and it's just one of the many twists in the royal history that could have changed everything. So, let's dive deep into this unusual royal offer, explore how it came about, and what it would have meant for the British royal family and global politics had Prince Edward accepted the role. If you're into royal history, shocking twists, and what-if scenarios, then this video is for you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more fascinating royal stories. Now, let's jump into this incredible tale. To understand why Estonia would even consider offering their crown to a British royal, we need to step back to 1994. The early 1990s were a time of massive change in Eastern Europe. The Soviet Union had recently collapsed, leaving behind a patchwork of newly independent nations, each trying to find its own identity and place in the world. Estonia was one of these countries, having regained independence from the Soviet Union in 1991. As the country began its journey toward democracy, some political groups wanted to establish Estonia not as a republic, but as a monarchy. Yes, you heard that right. A newly independent country, freed from Soviet rule, was considering reviving the monarchy as a way to symbolize their new national identity. This idea came from a political group known as the Independent Royalist Party. They actually won 8 seats in Estonia's newly formed parliament, which was a significant achievement for a group advocating for a monarchy in the middle of the 1990s. And not just any monarchy, they wanted a foreign royal to lead their nation. So, who did they have in mind? None other than Prince Edward, Queen Elizabeth II's youngest son, the Duke of Edinburgh. In what might be one of the most surprising moments in royal history, the leader of the Independent Royalist Party sent a formal request to Buckingham Palace, asking Prince Edward if he would become the new king of Estonia. According to the Sunday Telegraph, they believed that Prince Edward was perfect for the role of head of state for their new monarchy. They admired him greatly and felt that he embodied the qualities they wanted in a royal leader. The request itself may seem bizarre, but it was sincere. After decades of Soviet control, Estonia was looking for stability, and perhaps they saw in the British royal family a sense of tradition, dignity, and continuity that could help their fledgling nation find its footing on the world stage. Of course, the question on everyone's mind is, how did Buckingham Palace respond? Well, Buckingham Palace apparently found the request charming, but they politely declined, calling it a charming idea but a rather unlikely one. And with that, Prince Edward's brief potential reign as the King of Estonia came to an end before it ever began. But let's indulge in a bit of royal fantasy for a moment. What if Prince Edward had accepted the offer? What if he had packed his bags and moved to Estonia to become their king? First of all, the very nature of the British monarchy could have changed. Prince Edward would likely have had to give up his place in the line of succession, meaning he would no longer be eligible to inherit the British throne. The decision would have reshaped his role within the British royal family, and he may have taken on a drastically different public image, one as a foreign monarch rather than a member of the British royal family. It also would have likely affected the dynamics within the royal family. Imagine how different things might have been if Edward was off ruling Estonia while his siblings, Charles and Andrew, continued their duties in the UK. Would Edward have been able to maintain a close relationship with the rest of the family? Would his children have grown up as European royals instead of British ones? The potential ripple effects are endless. And what about Estonia? Had they become a constitutional monarchy with Prince Edward as their king, their path through the 1990s and early 2000s could have taken a different course. Perhaps they would have attracted more attention on the international stage, or maybe the monarchy would have been a stabilizing force during those turbulent early years of independence. Or perhaps it would have been a short-lived experiment that ultimately failed. Either way, the presence of a British royal on the Estonian throne would have certainly made headlines around the world. Even though Prince Edward didn't become King of Estonia, his life still took some significant royal turns. In March 2023, Prince Edward was given the title Duke of Edinburgh, following the wishes of his father, the late Prince Philip, who had held that title for over 70 years. The title of Duke of Edinburgh is particularly meaningful for both Prince Edward and his wife, Sophie. Sophie, in particular, had a close relationship with Queen Elizabeth II, and the title holds deep emotional significance. Before she became queen, Elizabeth was known as the Duchess of Edinburgh from her marriage in 1947 until her ascension to the throne in 1952. Now, Sophie carries the same title, linking her even more closely to her late mother-in-law. Interestingly, before Edward and Sophie became the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, they were originally offered a different title after their wedding in 1999, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. That's right, the title now held by Prince William and Kate was first offered to Edward. However, Edward declined the offer and chose instead to be styled as the Earl and Countess of Wessex. Why, you ask? Well, apparently, Edward was inspired by a character in the film Shakespeare in Love, and that's how he chose the Wessex title. It's a fun fact that shows just how different the royal title landscape could have been. Imagine if Edward and Sophie had taken the Cambridge title. Would William and Kate have been known as something completely different? It's fascinating to think about the possibilities. While Edward didn't become the king of a foreign nation or even take the title of Duke of Cambridge, his contributions to the royal family have been significant. Over the years, he has taken on many public duties, including supporting numerous charities and organizations. He's also known for his work in the arts, having produced television shows through his company Ardent Productions. Edward's role within the royal family became even more prominent after the passing of his father, Prince Philip, in 2021. Many royal watchers believe that Edward will eventually take over his father's patronage of the Duke of Edinburgh's Award, an organization that has helped millions of young people around the world. So, there you have it, a fascinating and little-known chapter in royal history that could have rewritten the future of both the British royal family and the newly independent Estonia. While Prince Edward didn't become a king, the offer itself is a testament to the strange and surprising twists that sometimes emerge in the world of royalty. What do you think? Should Prince Edward have considered becoming King of Estonia, or did he make the right choice by staying close to home? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you. And that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed this royal what if scenario and want more deep dives into the fascinating world of royalty, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We've got plenty more royal stories, shocking secrets, and fun facts to share with you, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.